Hare Krishna devotees. Let us start with the prayers. Om Agyan Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Shakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sinyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamutiraye Nashtaprayesha Vatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Sloke Bhaktirbhavati Naistiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayatu Igrim Yatkripatamaham Mande Sri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramanandamadavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We'll start with
one more time, the Sanskrit. Jnanam yad apratinivrita gunormi chakram atma prasada uta yatra guneshva asangaha kaivalya samata pantas tvata bhakti yogaha ko.
Are you able to hear the lecture?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, thank you.
Nivrito harikatasu ratim nakuryat. Who will not be attracted? Clear, Shukadeva Goswami he's in ecstasy. Just talking about this. He's already answered the question. He's still answering the question. It's so relishable. And he's explaining it in such ecstatic language. Any discussion?
Yes. All the process of devotions is so very wonderful. I love yesterday about the Sadhaka. It's so very. So what makes people in general to accept this? This is so very nice and satisfying.
What makes it?
Why is it?
Why isn't everybody doing it? Ashradadana Purusha. You know the meaning? Because of faithlessness. And there's so many causes of faithlessness, varieties of faithlessness. One just doesn't know, or one knows but is attached. One has doubt. One has been hurt by being cheated by some other process, so who knows, can I trust this? Selfishness with, this calculating mentality. Am I going to get out of this what my expectation list is? So there's different varieties due to different causes of that faithlessness, but not investing full faith. That's one answer. Another answer is holding on. Just simply holding on. It's another way of saying faith. Holding on to baggage. Maintaining material attachments even after understanding so many instructions in this matter. Not having complete faith in the chanting of the holy name. Instead, maintaining material attachments. We maintain our material attachments. They're superfluous to the soul, but we hold on to them. We invest importance in them. We don't want to let go. Krishna doesn't force our hand open. He's forever inviting. He should force our hand open. Nobody doesn't do that. Doesn't do that. It's voluntary. We've gotten in our situation voluntarily and we get out of it voluntarily, but He's forever inviting us. We're attached, faithless. We've invested our faith in materialism for countless lifetimes. We're very habituated to it. Prabhupada gives the example, you can pull a worm out of a stool and move him away from the stool and it'll go slithering back into stool. Why? That's his home, the stool pile. So conditioned. Indra became a hog. Brahma felt sorry, came to invite him back. No, I'm very happy with my piglets and pig pen. One becomes attached. We have strong faith in other things. That's something that Prabhupada said is one of the greatest obstacles in preaching Krishna consciousness in the modern world is the blind faith people have in science. Because it's brought so much comfort with, what comfort? I see in America, you have such nice highways and fast cars and people zooming around, but are they happy? They're going faster and faster. Have they found happiness? Is the value of life greater? But technology, science, it's given us so much. Anyway, people are attached to sense gratification and the bodily conception of life. So it's hard. Although it's so nice, the process is so nice. Very clearly. Anything else? Yeah?
Regarding benefiting from association.
Benefiting from association?
Of saintly person.
Yeah.
It seems that in the beginning there was a lot of respect and
in the beginning there's a lot of respect.
And advancement was clearly visible.
And then what?
Advancement was clearly visible.
Advancement is clearly visible.
But as time
Time progresses, something happens. What's that? We make offenses. When you first begin, you haven't made any offenses. And do it for a while. There's some offenses. Yeah? And then there's anarthas that arise from offenses. So that's a damned if you do and damned if you don't situation. But then you have to do properly. You do cultivating carefully, avoiding offenses. And, minimizing and familiarity and all those things. But that's the price we have to pay for our long involvement in the material energy. But naturally so, because when one is in the pure state, one is very careful. The process is not less powerful. Just the anarthas that have arisen are blocking the tivra bhakti. So we have to, the bright rays of devotion, we have to move the cloud. We have to cultivate very, very carefully with great sincerity, great effort to become pure. Nice challenge. Anything? Okay. Thank you very much, Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. So we had the lecture played. Now we will just, there is another lecture in the same, on the same verse, that is 2.3.12. So if we see the different lectures on the same verse is difficult to cover. So summarize one after another these lectures so that we can hear more from Maharaj. So I'm summarizing this through 2.3.12, the next lecture which he had given on this. And only the additional points what he has not covered in the lecture now, when what we heard, that hopefully another 10 minutes, and then we can have some discussion. So Maharaj said that this verse is talking about transcendental knowledge, and there are different methods of acquiring the transcendental knowledge. So here in this verse, the one and only method is that devotional service. That is the transcendental knowledge here comes from the devotional service. But Maharaj distinguished how it is superior to the transcendental knowledge, which is even acquired by self-effort by the jnanis, that speculative knowledge of the jnani. They also have vairagya. So what is the difference? He says that their jnana is incomplete. Why? Because it is not resting on something substantial. So he says that as long as we are in the material
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Mataji, your voice is not clear.
Yes, it's
Position
very
of the
breaking.
Atma Tattva or Brahma Gyan, resting on what he meant by something substantial. That is, the Jnana is there, that the...
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Is it better now, Mataji? Yeah. Is it better now? I was asking. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Mataji.
It is breaking
Slightly.
in between and
On and off.
then again.
On and off.
It's probably your internet speed, Mataji. That's the problem.
Is it okay? Is
Yeah,
it better
now
now?
Yes, we heard clearly, Mataji. I do not know when you continue.
Okay. So, let's try to... I'll try to summarize. I hope it is clear. My voice is clear to all of you. So, Maharaj is differentiating between the Gyan or the Brahma Gyan. The Brahma Gyanis, the Gyanis without any devotional service. They also have Gyan. But the devotional, so this transcendental the knowledge which is spoken in this verse is not that. How it is different? Because he says the knowledge of the Gyanis is not resting on something substantial. They realize that we are the spirit souls. But what is that reality connected to? So Maharaj is making the systematic way in which Bhagavatam has described this same knowledge as so wonderful. She says that in the second canto, the first 3 chapters, first there is a conception of the Supreme Lord is given in relation to matter. That is seeing God within nature. That is pantheism. That is a Virat Rupa. Then the heed the God, that is perceive the God within nature, and then the universal form, the form of the God that God manifests. Then in chapter 2, maturing more, then within the forms that you see around in this world, there is a super soul or Paramatma within. So try to perceive that Paramatma within. And then the chapter 3 is transitioning from Paramatma realization to seeing Bhagavan feature through the medium of devotional service. So this way of presentation of Bhagavatam, he says, he is resting on the Bhagavan feature of the Lord, which is the source, and he is a person. So that realization of that Bhagavan realization, so the whole knowledge, the transcendental knowledge of devotional service is resting on the concept of Bhagavan. So that is what makes it substantial. So who we are, yes, we are spirit souls, but the bigger picture is we are living entities who are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, meant for his service, and one who takes shelter of him. So this kind of understanding is transcendental knowledge that has got a foundation and support on the Bhagavan conception. These are his exact words. So we are part of Krishna. Then he talked about Shyam Sundar Prabhu, who gave a nice memento to all the devotees, saying we belong to Krishna. So we have to remind ourselves every day that we belong to Krishna. So we are meant to serve Krishna. The part has to serve the whole. Several times from Prabhupada, you must have heard this. If a part is disconnected from its main, machine, like a spark plug, Maharaj gave the example of a spark plug. By itself, the spark plug is not so important. But the spark plug, if it doesn't function in your, two-wheeler, then it becomes very, very important. The part has to function. Every part has to function and carry out its own function. So that is what he made us understand, that disconnected we have no value, but connected to Krishna. So that is why he said the transcendental knowledge, which is not resting on this sort of a substantial platform, is not so great. Then he came to Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha. When we practice this service to the whole, the service to the Supreme Lord, of whom we are part of, then that leads to two things, that is Jnana and Vairagya as the results. That is Vasudeva Bhagavati's reference, he said. And then he compared with the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, wherein he said in a Patanjali Yoga Sutra, it also says that it talks about mind control. With the diminishing of the swirlings of the mind, that is called Chitta Vritti. When Chitta Vritti happens, that is when the waves of the mind subsides, then one is able to look deep within the and perceive oneself. That is, you can have self-realization then. The self is not perceived when the mind is turbulent. Just like you cannot see anything in water if the water is turbulent. But when the water is calm, you can see an object at the bottom of the water. So this analogy Maharaj gave, and he compared the Patanjali Yoga Sutra to this verse, which is also talking about Jnanam yet apratinivrita gunormi chakram. So we all have heard that quite a few times from Maharaj. So when the churning waves of the material nature, material modes, they subside by the practice of Bhakti Yoga. So that is what this. So he compared this, says the Patanjali Yoga Sutra verse, to this Pratinivrutta Gunormi Chakram, and this and so that's why thus by the transcendental knowledge, and this is done by the transcendental knowledge, which is a byproduct of bhakti, that is devotional service. And then he says, then he came to the Atma Prasada in the second line. It is nourishing to the soul. That is called as Atma Prasada. So when somebody is very much satiated, say self-satisfying, Atma Prasada means self-satisfying. So when one is fully satiated with what they have eaten, then they don't go for more and more, one more halwa, or one more little bit more halwa, or one more puri or something like that. So he said that when we are fully satisfied in the service of the Lord, then that is called desirelessness. But it does not mean total cessation of desire, just like the Gyanis do. But he said, he qualified the desirelessness as not having a desire separate from Krishna's interest, but having an interest in Krishna and the satisfaction of Krishna as one's own interest. That is desirelessness. That is, I belong to Krishna and it is a life of devotion that I should do, and I should please Krishna. That should be my goal. Then he said, what happens when we practice bhakti? That is Kevala Bhakti. Two things, purification and stimulation. So we have all heard about Jnana and Vairagya from Vasudeva Bhagavati and other verses, but he said in a different way, purification and stimulation. What is the purification? Purification of the tendency for the mind to be agitated by material modes. That is the aprati nivritta gunormi chakram. Not being agitated by the material modes of nature. And then there is also another thing, that is stimulation, is awakening of the real identity of the soul. So two things happen when you practice bhakti. And then Guru Maharaj touched upon the Yukta Vairagya principle. So it is not that we reject everything that is there because of desirelessness, that this transcendental knowledge is bringing about to an extent, yes, desirelessness, but then that doesn't mean that we reject everything in the world. So he said that it more superior is the Yukta Vairagya principle taught to us by Rupa Goswami. So we are using the he gave an example. I am using the air conditioned hall, this projector, this microphone, and this the whole gamut of technology for preaching Krishna's message. So we are consciously using the material things to satisfy the Supreme Lord. That is applying the Yukta Vairagya principle. So that will also make the waves of desire subside. So the Yukta Vairagya itself is how it is superior to Jnana Vairagya or the speculative knowledge. That is where he ended the talk. So there were another 10 minutes of question and answer. Shamkund Prabhu, would you like to add something, Prabhu?
No, nothing regarding this lecture, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhu. Then I open the discussion. Anybody would like to ask for any clarification? I might not have put it across correctly, or any other thing that struck you from the previous lecture also, which we heard. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dhanavad Pranam.
Yes, Prabhu.
Mataji, I would like to know more understanding on Chitta Vritti, Mataji.
Oh, that was Patanjali Muni's terminology. Chitta Vritti means purification of consciousness. Prabhu.
Oh, okay, Mataji.
That is where he says that when the waves of the mind subside, just like here, Prabhupada has also written the waves and the whirlpools of the material modes. When they subside, here he is talking about the suspension of the waves and whirlpools of material modes. Similarly, Patanjali Yoga Sutra talks about Chitta Vritti, that is the waves of the mind subsiding. Then the mind becomes still, and you are able to see beyond the turbulence of the mind to the Atma Tattva. That is, one can see face to face the Atma. That is what Patanjali Yoga Sutra is geared towards. So there, it is more of a Ashtanga Yoga principle, wherein the last stage is seeing the Paramatma or the Atma directly, direct vision. For that, the mind has to be controlled. So the whole Pattadi of Patanjali Yoga starts with Yama Niyama, the control of the mind, and then the body, Pratyahara and Asana, and all that. Hope you are.
Yes.
It's clearer, but Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji, for clarity.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Actually,
yes, Prabhu.
This Brahman realization and Paramatma realization are the byproducts of Bhagavan realization, they say. So the bhaktas bhaktas also can self-realization, that Brahman realization, as well as Paramatma realization, when they are pursuing the bhakti path. That kind of realization, are they superior to your Patanjali realization or whatever you have been discussing about?
Prabhu, here Maharaj was making a distinction between the speculative knowledge.
Yeah, that's a very nice. Vairagya transcendental knowledge. He made a very nice thing. Bhakti Yoga is always Vairagya Bhakti Yoga, transcendental knowledge of Bhakti Yoga, far superior than other things. That he has already told.
Yes, because they do not have the correct conception about the Supreme.
They are not based on some substantial.
But what you are talking about is that Prabhupada used to give that example of, if somebody has got $1 million, then they have got $10 and have got $100 also. So they will know about the Brahman and the Paramatma as well. Because the three conceptions, the Bhagavan realization is the ultimate. And once you have understood Bhagavan, then you will also know that he is the Paramatma within us in his plenary portion. And he is also the Brahma. He is the source of the Brahman, Brahma Jyoti. Brahmanohi Pratishtaham. Yes, you are right, Prabhu. They're all, I will not say byproducts, but you have to have if you are having the Bhagavan conception, then you will be having that 10 rupees and 100 rupees within the million rupees. That is the thing.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else? Hemu Sundari Mataji, if you are not very busy.
Hello, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.
Yes, Prabhu.
Mataji, I have two questions. One question is not directly related to this class. And one question is like we had discussed, I think day before yesterday or maybe last week. So yesterday I was listening one lecture. In that Prabhuji was mentioning like we should not understand like Guru is like he knows everything because he is also a Jiva Tattva. And but because of Paramatma realization, if he wants, he can know. But we should not understand each and everything. But we should not understand that Guru knows everything. So this is the reason, whatever the things is there, we should discuss directly with the Guru. So, but at the same time, I have listened in the lecture, we should not understand Guru like us as the bodily platform. He is Dibya, his body, everything is a Dibya in transcendental like body kind of. So these two things I want to understand. I understand both the statements are true in some sense, but I want to connect both. Second thing is second question is like in chapter 11 in Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned Mishra Bhakti, unalloyed Bhakti. Bhakti should not
Prabhu,
be mixed. Yes, Mataji.
1 minute. Prabhu, let me answer try to answer your first question, and then we'll
Okay,
move to the second one, because I'll forget the first question only. Or
okay,
I will not be able to go to the second one properly. So when Prabhupada was sometimes questioned by people, just they say, oh, the Guru knows everything. So how many windows are there in the Empire State Building? Then he used to say, the Guru knows everything means he knows everything that is the essence of the Vedas, and he has got transcendental knowledge, the essential things. So don't cheapen him by asking all these stupid questions like how many windows are there in Empire State Building. I don't have to know that. The God reveals, as Paramatma reveals to him whatever is the essence of all the scriptures in all the Vedas, and definitely he knows everything about what is important for this crossing this material ocean. It doesn't mean that he should know how many particles of sand are there in the beach or something like that. So that is how Prabhupada answered a similar question, Prabhu. Guru need not answer everything. That is one thing. Another thing you said, yes, Guru is not to be seen on the bodily platform. That he is an American and he is not a caste Brahmana or things like that. No. So whosoever sees the Guru on the bodily platform, thinking that he is born of that, and before coming to this um, status of guru, what was he before. So going to their past and dwelling, so they were hippies or what. So this is the sort of analysis and seeing people, the guru on the bodily platform, which is totally to be avoided. It is an offense. And a person who is doing it, I think Bhagavatam says they are equivalent to asses or something like that. One who thinks of the guru like that on the bodily platform, because they are transcendental. They have gone out of the three modes, and they are in the pure devotional platform. So definitely we should understand that their bodily things are not important, but what they are inside, that is more important. That is how I understand. I don't know whether I'm able to connect both the issues, Prabhu. I'll ask somebody. Shamkun Prabhu wants to answer your question, I think. Better.
Just to elaborate a little bit. Chandran Prabhu, so let me just repeat the question. On one hand, the Guru is not supposed to know everything. That's not the thing. But on the other hand, we have to surrender to the Guru. Is that the underlying motive of the question? Is that what it is, Prabhu?
Prabhu, I mean to ask, like Guru knows he is a Jiva Tattva like us, so he doesn't know everything. So whatever the things are there, we should go and discuss. We should not understand that, okay, I am doing this and that, and Guru knows everything. So this is not the case. He is also a Jiva Tattva. But if he wants to know your heart, means your feelings or anything like that, he can know through the Paramatma connection, like that. So this is the question, means heart, knowing heart of his disciple. I mean to say this one.
You're right, and yet there is a slight flavor here, Prabhu. Kumarika Mataji addressed one part of it, saying the Guru needs to know as much as is known. So there is one part of it, inherent in the way you are putting the question. You may not have meant it that way, but the way you are putting the question is, say the spiritual master or the Guru does not know everything, so we have to go and tell. But since he knows the heart of the Supreme, since he's connected to the Paramatma, he can, on the other side, he can also understand what is happening in the heart of the individual. But for that, first and foremost, we have to go and express ourselves clearly. Correct?
Yes, yes, yes.
Now, the subtle thing here is the focus is on that the Guru is a Jiva. What you said principally makes sense, but it doesn't help us in a devotional life in a way. In that, the way it doesn't help us in a devotional life, in a life of devotion, is the reason for me to approach a Guru is to make things transparent. That is, I want to explain myself and the situation, or I want to explain about somebody else also. So it is like I am giving an appraisal report, and the other end, the Guru or the other end, is a person who says, okay, given the circumstances, given that these are the motivations of different individuals, given that this is the principles in the scripture, therefore do A, B, C. Or therefore this is what is ideal and this is the understanding, etc. In other words, this kind of an approach relegates or denigrates the Guru to a glorified Google search or a glorified chat GPT. Somebody who has an, so you are basically giving us an input to that engine, knowledge, and inference is coming out. The reason to approach a Guru is a little, definitely the Guru can do this and should do this. That is, you give all the inputs, and the Guru will consider many things which even we wouldn't have considered. And it will be helpful for us to learn how to do it. Yes, it is an aspect of it, correct. But there is also another aspect of it. The other aspect of it here is the reason we go and tell is, I want a connection with you. I want you to know that you are all in all for me. Now, I want to know what is it that you like. So the thing is goes more from what is the right thing to do to what is it that you like to do. That switch is important, Prabhu. It's important. What is the right thing to do is very, very much important. No doubt about it. But a life of devotion blossoms when we do say, or when our intention is, I want to appreciate what you like to do, and I want to know what you want me to do, and I will do that. That thing, Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. I understood now. Should I go for next question, Prabhu?
Maybe you can ask. Please go ahead. Let's see. Maybe Kumari Kamadaji can answer it quickly also. Please
Yes,
go ahead.
So second question, I was reading in the group discussion, even Hema Mataji has posted about the Mishra Bhakti. So Bhakti should not be allied with Jnana and Karma. But the Bhakti starts with, okay, let me put in some other sense. A devotee does some karma. Without doing karma, we cannot live. But the devotee, whatever he does, that is karma yoga. And whatever, like without the jnana, the bhakti cannot start. Even by listening, some knowledge, transcendental knowledge comes in heart, and we understand, we interpret those things, and we understand that Krishna is the supreme, and we progress in bhakti. And but yeah, its portion is very less. Bhakti comes from the mercy of the devotees and Lord. But we cannot avoid fully the jnana activities and karma activities. So, if we say that we should do unalloyed bhakti, means we should not do Mishra bhakti, the pure bhakti we should do. But here we see that we cannot do pure bhakti, means some portion of like jnana and karma is mixed in that. How should I understand this?
Just very quickly, and maybe others can add later. The jnana that is being spoken of in the verse Anya Bhinashita Shunyam, Jnana Karma Dhyanavritam, the jnana in that verse is not just mere knowledge. It is the notion that the knowledge that the Atma is equal to the Brahman or the Supreme Lord. It is that which is being disparaged, or that which is being encouraged not to go with it. That so some knowledge of the absolute truth, not some, a lot of knowledge of the absolute truth is anyway required. But it is so when you talk about jnana and karma, the jnana that is being spoken about is only that knowledge which should not contaminate bhakti. Number one. Number two, karma that is being discussed in that verse is specifically that the activity, like there are different stages of karma, that there's an activity as sanctioned by the Vedic literature, and by those activities, one, I will get purified. Second, each individual will get some results out of it. The thing that is being not encouraged over there is in the jnana karma adi anavritam, is the notion that we are going to enjoy the fruits of our karma. So these two things. So it doesn't mean bhakti is devoid of activity or bhakti is devoid of some information. No, it doesn't mean that. There, bhakti cannot be performed without an activity. It cannot be performed without an understanding of who Krishna is. If that were to be the case, why is Srimad Bhagavatam present? It is being present so that we can get attracted to the Supreme Lord by knowing his different activities. So therefore, it is a jnana portion is there, and therefore there is also uh, the, activity portion in terms of chanting the holy name, vibrating the tongue by glorifying him, using our body for propagating the glories of Krishna, all that is present. But they don't come under the karma part, that doing an activity for my pleasure. That these two things are being discouraged. Others can add, or maybe I didn't understand and you can clarify it once more.
No, I understood, Prabhu. Now the dots are connected, as Hemam Bhattaji has put in the group. Like if any jnana or karma, if it is like helping in bhakti, we should accept it.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. To add to just, what Shamkund Prabhu said, if we are doing our prescribed duties, say, that doesn't mean that we are doing karma yoga along with bhakti. If we do all the activities for the pleasure of Krishna, even our prescribed duties, like caring for your children or earning for your family and taking care of them for Krishna's pleasure, then everything becomes the subsect of what is called a Gauna Bhakti. By Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura says that all your activities, when we do it for the result, as Prabhu just now said, when we do it for results, then that is karma, what we are doing. If we are doing without even not aiming for the results, that is only Nishkamya Karma Yoga. But if you are doing it for the pleasure of Krishna, everything becomes bhakti or subsect of bhakti, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you.
It's already 7:17. So shall we end the call here? We can put up your questions and answers in the WhatsApp group if there are any. Thank you very much for joining. And tomorrow, I think Harisham Prabhu is going to summarize some other lecture of Guru Maharaj, and then later on followed by Dear Lalit Prabhu. So the rest of the week we'll be hearing from Harisham Prabhu and Dear Lalit Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
The lecture
Hare
should be
Krishna.
from 231 Mataji only, right?
Prabhu, yes, what did you ask?
Lecture is from the 231 only, na? Repeated whatever the Maharaji has given lecture, or some other lecture, some
312,
other verse
Prabhu.
will be discussing tomorrow.
No, this was 2312. Then that will be regarding 2313, 14. What Harisham Prabhu will be the next two verses. And Dear Lalit Prabhu some other verse, Prabhu. Many subsequent verse.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. So this 12 we have completed already today. Both the lectures we have completed. Hare Krishna.